Welcome back. So let's see how Hosea prosecutes the indictment. 4:2 starts out stipulating ways that God's righteous expectations, spelled out in the Decalogue, have been violated. So, as the Torah taught us to expect, the land mourns. Society is crippled. Why? Look at 4:6. Do you see the third count of the indictment is what's in focus here? Chapter 4, verse 6 charges that the infraction is not due to unfortunate circumstances. So, we just didn't know. It's not circumstantial, it's intentional, willful, deliberate. You've rejected knowledge. Then, look at 6:4. Addressed to both sides of the border. What shall I do with you, O Ephraim, the northern kingdom? What shall I do with you, O Judah, southern kingdom? Our English translations may fog this for us now, but the charge in verse 4 uses the exact same word used for count 2 of the indictment in 4:1. Chesed, covenant loyalty, steadfast love. And the text that follows develops this charge. Then look at chapter 11, verse 12, which introduces the argument of what was the first count of the indictment in 4:1. No truth, trustworthiness. Here, Hosea uses antonyms for emet, trustworthiness. With this count, the northern kingdom is contrasted with the southern kingdom. Ephraim has surrounded me with lies, the whole house of Israel with deceit. But Judah still walks with God and is faithful to the Holy One. Seems hopeless, eh? Chapters 4 through 14, 11 chapters, forcefully arguing this 3-count indictment. Pretty bleak, eh? But wait, think now, how did the painful biographical section conclude? Hopeless or hopeful? So, we shouldn't be surprised to find that what I just called the forceful argument of the prosecution is punctuated with rosy-tinted prophecies. So, count 1 was prosecuted in chapter 4:2 through 5:15, but take a look at chapter 6. Come, let's return to the Lord, for he has torn us, that he may heal us. He struck us down. He'll bind us up. After 2 days, he'll revive us, and on the 3rd day, he will raise us up that we may live before him. So let us know. Let us press on to know the Lord. His going out as sure as the dawn. He will come to us as the showers, as the spring rains that water the earth. God's grace. Then count 2 is prosecuted in chapter 6, verse 4 through 11:7. But check out 11:8 and following. How can I give you up, O Ephraim? How can I hand you over, O Israel? How can I make you like Admah? How can I treat you like Zeboim? My heart recoils within me. My compassion grows warm and tender. I will not execute my burning anger. I will not again destroy Ephraim. For I am God and not a man, the Holy One in your midst. I will not come in wrath. They shall go after the Lord. He'll roar like a lion. When he roars, his children shall come trembling from the west. They shall come trembling like birds from Egypt, like doves from the land of Assyria. And I will return them to their homes, declares the Lord. The third argument by the prosecution is found in chapter 11, verse 12 through 14:3. But check out 14:4 through 8. I will heal their apostasy. I'll love them freely, for my anger is turned from them. I'll be like the dew to Israel, He'll blossom like the lily. He'll take root like the trees of Lebanon. His shoots will spread out. His beauty will be like an olive, his fragrance like Lebanon. They shall return and dwell beneath my shadow. They shall flourish like the grain. They'll blossom like the vine. Their fame will be like the wine of Lebanon. Oh, Ephraim, what have I to do with idols? It's I who answer, I who look after you. I am like an evergreen cypress. From me comes your fruit. More proof of the eternality of God's promise covenant, eh? Well, let's tack toward Amos and spend a few moments there looking at creative ways he tried to capture the attention of his audience and persuade. And I want to spend a few minutes on a key passage in the last chapter as well. Well, remember who Amos' audience is, right? It's the northern kingdom of Israel. So, what do you make of the first recorded message? What's the implication of the expression for 3 transgressions and for 4 that Amos uses? Right. There's a piling on. 3 transgressions, that's that pesha word that we talked about before that's translated rebel or revolt, for example, in 1 Samuel 24. But it's for 3 plus 1 more. An idiom that we use in English, I think, that captures the same idea is the straw that broke the camel's back. You get it? I mean, the camel can carry a lot. But at one point, there's just one something too much. The straw that broke the camel's back. Well, not that Amos thinks that any amount of rebellion against God is okay, but he's claiming that God's long-suffering, his grace, is being stretched too far. That God says, for rebelling one time too many, I won't hold back the punishment that the Aramean kingdom of Damascus deserves because of its oppression and injustice. And all God's people said, Amen. Point 2, for rebelling against God one time too many, he won't cancel the punishment that the Philistine city of Gaza deserves for their unjust practices. And all God's people said, Amen and Amen. And you could begin to hear some whispering during the sermon. Man, this southern hillbilly can preach. Point 3, for pushing it one too many times, I won't hold back punishment for the injustice of the Phoenician capital of Tyre. This is getting exciting. Point 4, essentially the same. This time it's against the Edomites. Cousins, mind you, but not nice ones. Point 5, against the Ammonites. Point 6, against more cousins, the Moabites. Man, this guy can preach. Chapter 2, verse 4. For 3 transgressions, for 3 rebellions against Judah. Whoa! This has the people out of their seats. I mean, Amos reports that God says judgment's a coming because those holy rollers down south who think they're better than anyone else just because they have the keys to the holy space, the temple, and all of its accoutrements, but they reject the Torah. They ignore God's righteous expectations. I can hear the whispering. I mean, normally we prefer 3-point sermons, but a 7-pointer like this we can take any time. This old southern farmer turned short-term missionary sure got their attention. But there's more. We'll get to that next time. See you in a bit.